Hello and welcome to Food for Thought, Insights for Busy Managers and Leaders. Today I want to talk about the optimal level of pressure and stress that you need to be at peak performance. Back in 1908, Yerkes-Dodson did some very interesting research and they discovered what they called the inverted U. They put together a graph where you got pressure along the bottom, where this is low pressure and this is high pressure, high levels of pressure. This is low performance and this is high levels of performance. And the inverted U that they discovered looked like this. And they found out that actually when you have low pressure, your performance isn't very high. And when pressure is just right at that perfect spot, that sweet spot, you get high performance. And that links nicely with what the latest discoveries from the field of neuroscience are discovering about adrenaline and the amount of adrenaline in our bodies. Because if we don't have enough adrenaline, actually our performance falters, we're a little bit sloppy and we don't really have the motivation to get something done. Just the right amount of pressure, an impending deadline or something like that, and we begin to get right into that peak performance where we're firing on all four cylinders and we're really effective and in high performance. However, as you can see, things can get out of hand. And if pressure increases, performance begins to falter. And if you get to this area here, you need to be able to have a good support system where you can tolerate the pressure if you can be mindful, if you can keep a broad perspective, if you can have a support structure around you that helps you keep things into perspective with reframing or whatever it is you need to do to manage that extra pressure and keep it in perspective. However, beyond that, the pressure increases and it begins to get toxic. And this is where things begin to get out of hand. Because this area of toxic pressure means that your prefrontal cortex, the bit of your brain that you do all of your thinking in, begins to falter. For example, you won't be able to understand as effectively. You won't be able to make decisions effectively. You won't be able to memorize and recall effectively. And you lose your ability to inhibit your behavior. All of that means that you're not going to be so effective. So watch out where you are on your sweet spot, and above all, watch out where your people are so that you know when to give them extra support so they can tolerate the pressure, but watch out if they fall into the toxic behavior, because that's when real trouble starts. So that's food for thought, insights for busy leaders and managers. Thank you very much.